My beloved child. There is a reason this message found you today. Someone you love has two friends who have been quietly watching everything from the background. They have noticed small moments that others ignored, and the picture they created is very different from what you would expect. One believes your heart carries a rare kind of loyalty, while the other cannot understand why your presence leaves such a lasting impression. Neither of them has shared every thought aloud, but their conversations have become impossible to ignore. Stay with me for a moment. What is about to unfold is not about coincidence, it is about hidden observations that have slowly become impossible to deny. As this unfolds, clarity will come. Every passing moment brings you closer to a truth that has been growing in silence, and something huge is waiting for you. Think about the moments that seemed ordinary. The quiet greetings. The unexpected smiles. The times you felt someone observing without saying a word. Those moments were never as small as they appeared. These two friends began comparing what they noticed, and every conversation led them to the same surprising conclusion. One kept saying, "There is something special about this person that cannot be explained." The other tried to find a logical reason, yet every answer only created more questions. This may resonate as we continue. The person you love has no idea how deeply these conversations have reached, because every new detail makes the mystery around you even stronger. Now something begins to change. The friend who doubted you starts remembering every act of kindness, every calm reaction, every time you chose understanding instead of pride. Piece by piece, old assumptions begin to disappear. Meanwhile, the other friend becomes convinced that your story with this person is far from complete. They believe there is an important chapter that has not been revealed yet. They cannot explain why they feel this way, but the feeling refuses to leave. Strange timing, unexpected conversations, and little signs keep pushing them toward the same thought. The connection between you and the person you love is much deeper than anyone first believed. At the same time, the person you care about begins noticing subtle changes around them. Conversations suddenly pause when they enter the room. Familiar faces exchange meaningful glances. Questions about you appear in ways that seem completely natural, yet they carry hidden meaning beneath the surface. Every answer only increases curiosity instead of ending it. The two friends are no longer focused on judging you. They are trying to understand why your presence continues to influence every discussion. What started as simple curiosity has quietly transformed into genuine respect, and that change is opening a door no one expected. Before this message ends, remember one thing. Sometimes the biggest turning points begin with conversations you never hear. While you continue living your life, important opinions about you are changing behind the scenes. The person you love may not realize it yet, but these two friends are slowly becoming part of a story that is moving in a completely unexpected direction. The next conversation they have could reveal something that surprises everyone involved, including the person at the center of it all. Until that moment arrives, keep your heart steady, because today's hidden whispers may soon become tomorrow's unforgettable truth. A quiet shift is already happening, even though almost no one has noticed it yet. The two friends have reached a point where they can no longer keep their thoughts to themselves. One of them finally says, "I think we've misunderstood this person from the beginning." The other pauses for a long moment before agreeing in silence. That single moment changes the entire direction of their conversations. What once sounded like curiosity now feels like certainty. Stay with me for a moment. The next piece of this story carries more meaning than anyone expected. As this unfolds, clarity will come. Every hidden detail is moving toward one unforgettable revelation. The person you love begins hearing small remarks from these friends that seem casual on the surface, but each one points back to you. They ask unexpected questions, remember little details about you, and even defend you when your name comes up. No one realizes how much those simple words are influencing the atmosphere around them. This may resonate as we continue. Sometimes the strongest support is built quietly, long before anyone recognizes its value. And this is exactly what is taking shape now. Something huge is waiting for you. There is another surprise neither of them expected. The more they learn about you, the more they begin encouraging the person you love to trust their own feelings instead of outside opinions. That advice is repeated in different ways until it becomes impossible to ignore. A conversation that once seemed ordinary suddenly turns meaningful, and a decision that had been delayed for so long begins moving forward. The truth is becoming clearer with every passing day, and even those who once questioned your place are beginning to see you through completely different eyes. If this message speaks to your heart, remember to share it with someone who may need this reminder, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter, and leave a comment telling us which part connected with you the most. Your voice could encourage someone else who is quietly waiting for hope. As this chapter comes to a close, the story is far from over. The two friends now know something they did not know before, and the person you love is standing closer than ever to discovering what has been happening behind the scenes. The next conversation will not simply answer questions, it will create brand new ones. What is revealed next could become the moment that changes everything they thought they understood about you. A moment is approaching that no one can stop. The two friends have finally decided that keeping their thoughts hidden no longer feels right. Instead of talking only to each other, they begin encouraging the person you love to look beyond first impressions and remember every meaningful moment they shared with you. Stay with me for a moment. What happens next is not loud or dramatic, it is quiet, sincere, and powerful. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The pieces that never seemed to fit are finally moving into place, and something huge is waiting for you. As the conversation continues, one friend recalls a small detail everyone else forgot. It was a simple moment, but it revealed more than anyone realized at the time. The other friend adds another memory, and suddenly the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Every story points toward the same conclusion: you have left an impression that never truly faded. This may resonate as we continue. Sometimes the most important truths are not discovered through one big event, they are uncovered through many small moments that quietly connect together. The person you love begins reflecting on everything with fresh eyes. Old misunderstandings start losing their power, and questions that once had no answers suddenly become clear. There is a growing feeling that something meaningful has been waiting for the right time to surface. Even the two friends are surprised by how naturally everything is unfolding. What they once saw as coincidence now feels like a path that has been forming all along, leading everyone toward the same unexpected realization. Before this chapter closes, one final thought remains. The next word spoken between these three people could become the turning point that changes how they see you forever. The two friends are no longer trying to figure you out, they are quietly hoping the person you love will recognize what they have already seen. And when that realization finally arrives, it may open a door that has been waiting to open for much longer than anyone imagined. There is one final conversation that has not happened yet, but everything is leading toward it. The two friends are no longer asking, "Who are you?" Instead, they are asking the person you love, "What are you waiting for?" That simple question carries more weight than anyone realizes. Stay with me for a moment. The silence that once surrounded your story is beginning to disappear. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The answers have been growing quietly, and now they are ready to be seen. Something huge is waiting for you. One of the friends finally shares a heartfelt observation. They explain that genuine people are rare, and they believe you have shown qualities that cannot be copied or pretended. The other friend agrees, adding that every time your name comes up, the atmosphere changes in a positive way. Those words stay with the person you love long after the conversation ends. For the first time, they stop focusing on doubts and begin paying attention to what has always been right in front of them. This may resonate as we continue. Sometimes the greatest confirmation comes through the voices of people who have nothing to gain by speaking. The journey has brought everyone to a different place than where it began. Curiosity became respect. Questions became understanding. Quiet observations became genuine appreciation. The two friends now believe that your story is only beginning, and they hope the person you love will have the courage to take the next step with an open heart. What once felt uncertain now feels filled with possibility, and that quiet change is more powerful than anyone expected. If this message is connected with you, share it with someone who might need this encouragement today. Subscribe to continue this journey with future messages, and leave a comment sharing the moment that spoke to your heart the most. As this chapter closes, remember this: not every important truth is announced with loud words. Some truths grow in quiet conversations, patient hearts, and perfect timing. And sometimes, the opinion that changes everything is the one formed by people who simply chose to look a little deeper. The story does not end with what those two friends discovered. It begins with what the person you love chooses to do after hearing everything. A quiet realization settles into their heart. They start seeing past moments differently, remembering conversations they once ignored, and noticing how often your name returned at exactly the right time. Stay with me for a moment. The final piece of this journey is closer than it has ever been. As this unfolds, clarity will come. What seemed like scattered moments are about to form one unforgettable picture. Something huge is waiting for you. There comes a peaceful moment when the person you love sits alone, reflecting on every word they have heard. They realize that both friends, despite having different personalities, arrived at the same conclusion without planning it. That kind of agreement is rare. It encourages them to trust what they have been quietly feeling all along. Instead of searching for more opinions, they begin listening to their own heart. This may resonate as we continue. Sometimes the strongest confirmation is not a single conversation but the way different voices point toward the same truth. As the days move forward, little changes become impossible to ignore. Conversations feel warmer. Smiles last a little longer. Small opportunities to reconnect begin appearing naturally. Nothing feels forced. Everything seems to arrive at the perfect moment. The two friends watch this unfold with quiet satisfaction because they know they did not create the connection. They simply helped reveal what was already there. The person you love now understands that some people enter our lives for a reason, and some connections become stronger with patience, honesty, and time. Now the journey reaches its quiet conclusion. The opinions that once lived in whispers have become confidence. The uncertainty that surrounded your story has slowly been replaced by hope. The person you love is stepping into a new chapter with clearer eyes and a calmer heart, carrying the encouragement of two friends who finally saw the truth for themselves. And as one chapter closes, another quietly begins, one filled with fresh possibilities, meaningful conversations, and the feeling that the best part of this story has not happened yet. The final chapter begins with a quiet sense of certainty. Nothing changes overnight, yet everything feels different. The person you love no longer wonders whether your presence matters, they begin noticing just how deeply it has touched their life. The two friends exchange one last meaningful glance, not because they have more questions, but because they finally feel they understand what they have been witnessing all along. Stay with me for a moment. The ending of this story carries a message that was waiting for the perfect time. As this unfolds, clarity will come. Something huge is waiting for you. One friend smiles and says, "Some people leave memories. Others leave peace." Those simple words remain in everyone's mind long after the conversation ends. The other friend quietly agrees, explaining that your greatest strength was never trying to impress anyone, it was simply being yourself. The person you love hears these thoughts and realizes that genuine connections are built through consistency, kindness, and patience. This may resonate as we continue. The biggest discoveries often arrive softly, yet they remain with us forever. As time moves forward, the distance that once seemed important becomes smaller with every passing day. New conversations begin naturally. Old misunderstandings no longer carry the same weight. There is a growing feeling that this connection has entered a new season, one built on understanding instead of assumptions. Even the two friends step back, knowing their role is complete. They are no longer trying to shape the story. They simply smile as they watch it unfold on its own. Before this journey ends, remember this one thought: not every meaningful chapter begins with a dramatic moment. Sometimes it begins with quiet respect, honest conversations, and hearts that choose to see the good in one another. The person you love now carries a new perspective, the two friends carry genuine admiration, and you carry a story that is still being written. The greatest surprise was never what they thought about you, it was how those thoughts quietly inspired someone to see you with completely new eyes. And that is the kind of change that can stay with a person for a lifetime.